Welcome to Bleav in 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav in 76ers is presented by betonline.ag.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. It's football season, and you know what that means? It means it's time to get in on BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. BetOnline. The game starts here. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav in 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here, legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow, and my brother, Teja Dash. Guys, you know, we saw Embiid, Paul George come back and play together. Mixed reviews, I would say, and we'll get into that in this episode. The big news of the week is Jared McCain continued to climb the charts. He's now the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. I think he was like 7th going into that Wednesday night game. He dominated that game, and now he's the top dog, the favorite to win it all as far as the Rookie of the Year. So,
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I wasn't expecting that at all from him. So let's kind of get into it right away with the topics today. So Wednesday night, as I mentioned, Jared McCain, he dropped 34 points, 6 threes, and 10 assists, becoming the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Only 2 rookies have done that before, getting 30 points, 6 threes, and 10 assists. Jason Kidd and Stephen Curry. So Jared McCain joins that crew. Jared McCain's performance made Nick Nurse even say, quote, Jared McCain would be a candidate to start when the team is healthy. He was impressed with the 10 assists and how McCain adjusted to the Cavs, sending multiple defenders his way. So obviously, what are your guys' thoughts on McCain's kind of emergence? And what are your thoughts on a potential backcourt of an M&M backcourt with Maxey and McCain, point guard, shooting guard? What do you guys think about that?
Well, he's playing well. I mean, I said it before that they needed to see what he can do, and they needed to increase his minutes.
He did it.
He's taking advantage of his opportunities, and that's what you want. A guy that when he gets the chance, he takes advantage of it. He's given them a guy that now they know they can trust to score the ball. He can make shots from the outside. So he brings a dimension that'll definitely be needed even when we have our full roster playing. As always with a younger guy, they'll have to find a way to kind of get him up to speed and better defensively, especially as you play tougher teams in the playoffs, because teams will exploit that. But it's interesting from a standpoint that he has taken sort of the lead and he's sort of being very aggressive.
Yeah.
And then the guys, and you kind of know, and that's when you kind of know that guys know somebody can score, somebody can do something, because they're kind of allowing it, or guys are kind of giving him the ball, or, I mean, he's taking the most shots in the game. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of tells you that the confidence and the belief, not only just within himself, but from the team and from the staff, is there too. As far as Rookie of the Year, he's playing well. He deserves it to kind of be up at the top of the list. It'll be tough for him when everyone comes back, if we have our full roster, because of opportunity in minutes only. But it also says something about the rookie class not really being to that level that you kind of like we're used to.
Yeah.
It could be a guy could win Rookie of the Year this year and not average 10 points. So I don't know. I don't really know any rookies out there that's averaging more than 12, 13 points. So he has a chance. I mean, even when those guys come back, based on how the rookie class is looking from a number standpoint, he could still win it and be a 6th man for us or 7th man for us, and he could still win it. especially with his ability to be effective and in a limited amount of time. So his chances are really, I mean, I would bet on him right now based on how he's playing and based on our team and guys missing games. So as far as him starting, I don't know. I don't know if that's what's best for the team right now and him. I don't know if that's what's best for him too. Will it be better for him to play the same amount of minutes that you could play as a starter, but play it as a reserve and play some of your minutes without a Paul, without a Joel, without a Maxey?
Yeah.
That's sort of the question that you want to kind of ask yourself. So I know guys want to start and we all get excited about starting and players do too, but I'm not sure right now if that's what's best for, like I said, either party. So I guess we'll have to see more. We have to see more, but I do think, like I've said before, that his minutes need to increase, and he's proven that they need to stay up there. So they got to find a way to keep his minutes there when guys come back, and he's pretty much he's to the point now where he's sitting guys down. I mean, some guys just when Maxey comes back and Paul's playing, and the guys just aren't going to play. He's been able to kind of finalize that rotation that we thought was a revolving door. It could be settled here pretty soon. So we'll see.
What a crazy change and how fast things can change. Like you spark and you show people what you can do, and it's clear that you belong. And it's like, okay, man, you got it. Like as far as teammates giving them that ball, teammates giving them like the leash to just do it, take it. You're talking about we're not like even though we're not playing well, we're not a bottom feeding team on paper. We have a lot of guys who could easily take the ball and try to shoot more, but they're like, you got it, man. Like you.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was the fact that Maxey isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Paul is limited in minutes, and he didn't play that last game, and Joel didn't play that last game.
Yes.
So if you looked at the roster, I mean, and the way he was playing,
yes,
he was the guy that should have had the basketball.
Yeah.
So,
and we're gonna have so many guys not playing. I hate to say it. We'll get to that later. Not playing a lot of games just off the back-to-backs alone. We're talking about what 15, 16? So that's 16 games. He will definitely get 30, mid-30s in the minutes right there alone, right? Off the bat. Other games, too, they're just going to sit out. So he's going to start or guaranteed play mid-30s, 20, 25, 30 games guaranteed off the bat, right? I mean, he's already played 30, 31, 31, 38. So I think he will have the opportunity to continue to put this up. I mean, he's not shy. He hasn't missed a free throw yet. I mean,
like I said, it's what it seems that to me that it's just the opportunity and the minutes is what can hold him back, because he is some guys when you in college, you can play in college and you kind of play in the system, and a lot of guys like him, you get to this league, and the more and more I think about it, the more and more he is. We were talking about someone he plays like. The guy that he plays like is really on his team, Eric Gordon. He reminds me of a young Eric Gordon.
That's a good one.
That's
a really good one, actually.
So you look at guys like him, and you just want him to be able to find consistency as far as his minutes, as far as knowing when he's going to play. I think the more that happens, the more consistencies you'll get from him. Now that it's not really, I Bleav from here on out, it's not going to be a yo-yo. His minutes, he know he's going to play, and once he kind of build that, knowing he's going to play, when he's going to play, he can prepare himself for his role, prepare himself for how the game is going, and I think that he'll be able to stay consistent with the way that he's playing, even if his numbers aren't as high as they are right now. But he's proven when guys are out that you give him 30 plus minutes, he's a guy that can give you 20, 25 points plus a game. Now he's going to shoot it a lot, but he scored a lot.
Yeah. Eric Gordon and both 6'3". Gordon was a little more thick, more compact, he was a little more built. Even out of college, he was too.
If you look at Eric Gordon
20 out of college,
if you look at Eric Gordon out of college, and you look at him, they're very similar, similar build, very similar style, very similar lower body, big legs. Like they're very similar build. Yeah. That's a good one. We can't look at Eric Gordon now and forget.
I wasn't. I know. That's not fair. I know that.
Yeah.
No, but coming out of, he actually, measurements wise, he's 7 pounds less than when he came out of college. At Indiana, they had him at 222. Now he's 215. So
yeah,
actually, I don't know about that though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff isn't always accurate. I mean, I don't sometimes.
Looking at that picture, he doesn't look bigger than he looks now. And he's 7 pounds. That's weird. But that's a good comp. I never heard that, but that actually makes a lot of sense.
I mean, a lot of people didn't do that because McCain especially coming out of high school, he was looked at more as a 3-point shooter. But the way he's playing right now is different than that.
Yeah, that's when they surprised me.
He's playing like Eric Gordon, a scorer that can make threes.
Yes. Yeah.
Not a 3-point shooter that can score.
Yeah. I mean, because Eric Gordon didn't start taking a crazy amount of threes till his last year in New Orleans. And then when he went to Houston, it was all bombs away at that point with the Harden team. But I mean, before that, for his first 5-6 years, he was taking 4 or 5 a game, which isn't crazy for a good shooter to do at all.
I mean, but that's also the time though. A lot of people weren't shooting a lot of threes like that.
Yeah, you can just see where the NBA changed. 2016, 2017,
guys just weren't doing that.
9 a game, he was chucking up at that point. So the moment he went to the D'Antoni team, it's crazy actually. So he shot 8.8 a game. Talking about consistent. 8.8 a game for 4 straight seasons on the dot. And he averaged 3.3, 3.3, 3.2, 3.2. That's makes a game. So that's talking about consistent. Eric Gordon's had a great career. I don't mean no matter, I think what our record is and how we look right now, I don't think anything's off the table. So to go back to what Nick Nurse said, we need a spark wherever we can find it. And if we have to turn to McCain, a rookie, to provide that on a night-to-night basis, then sure. Especially while, George gets into the mix more, starts playing more with the team. And, I heard he's got a minute restriction from here on out too, right? George, yeah, so he's good to go.
Doesn't, or he said he
does not. I heard no restrictions on George from here on out, which is great. And then Embiid we'll get to later. And then Maxey, who knows? We don't want that to linger. Maybe you don't have to rush Maxey back. Maybe you make sure he's right now when you have McCain playing the way he is. But he's going to have his rookie moments, and his usage will go up and down depending on who's available that game. But even when you have everyone and everyone's clicking, his catch and shoots exceptional. So even he has a role when everyone's there, he can still provide value, which is what's so great about his game. It's so versatile, right? He's being great with a high usage, and he's good with low usage because he can just crank those threes. He has such a good, nice release. When it comes to time when him and Max are on the floor together for a long time, there's defensive problems. I think we'll just adjust as needed. I don't think we have to even worry about that at this point. I'm with Eric on the starting thing. That doesn't concern me as much. Well, me, it's easy for me to say, but it doesn't concern me as much as just I want his minutes to stay consistent. And if you can get to a situation where everyone's back and mostly healthy, and you have either him or Maxey on the floor at all times at guard, you're looking at a guy that people have to either pay attention to at all times or double. Cleveland's no joke defensively. They're a really versatile defensive team. New York's no joke defensively. That's 2 good defensive teams that he ate up pretty good. So
that's what happens when you can play and you get volume. That'll happen. Well, teams will start scouting him differently now.
That's true.
So they'll start scouting him differently.
The night is young.
They'll play him differently. So it's going to get tougher because now, especially with Maxey out, guys are coming in. They'll come in. Teams will come in, and he'll be more of the focus from a scouting standpoint. So, but he's more than capable. He's shown it.
Yeah. Impressive. Yeah.
Caleb Martin and Embiid said during training camp that he was one of the more talented guys during training camp. And I think everyone now is saying, see, this is what we saw during training camp. I've seen some fans say that if we were to go McCain Maxey starting backcourt, it would be kind of a Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland backcourt-ish. Would that be a good comparison or no?
Well, I mean, he has to, Darius Garland has made an all-star game, and he's played well for some years. So, potentially, if he can, potentially he could get like a Darius Garland. Not quite there yet. Maxey has potentially the talent of being like, Donovan Mitchell, but not quite there yet. So, potentially, it's kind of two very good offensive guards. Probably bigger, taller at each position. So, yeah, the potential is there. I mean, it's just you can't kind of give it to them when the other ones have kind of done it and earned it. So, yeah, but the potential to be that effective is definitely, I see that.
Yeah. Too soon to say, but yeah. All right, so you guys mentioned Joel Embiid a little bit. So we saw Joel Embiid make his debut on Tuesday. It was a little rocky, but what do you expect? He missed 10 games. Embiid also said that he was trolling with never playing back-to-backs ever again. So that was kind of a good sign to hear him say that after the game. But after the game, many talking heads are very negative about his debut. Stephen A. Smith said he's concerned with Embiid. He looks slow to defend Cat, looks scared to attack. Bill Simmons said Embiid is in his Shaq Phoenix Suns era, alluding to him being washed. Quote, every time the game stopped, he was keeled over with both hands on his knees, like a 53-year-old guy playing pickup over Thanksgiving. It was pretty brutal. Chandler Parsons, on another note, said Embiid was not ready to play and was rushed back too soon. Quote, he's in pain. He's not running back. He's not sprinting. He's not changing directions. He's doing nothing that he was doing when he was the MVP. So this is a completely different player. He's not himself, which is why I feel for the guy. And I know him media-wise, he's getting scrutinized. I think this is going to get shut down here soon. They have to plan with going with Drummond, going with Yabusele. They have to go with these guys because I just don't see a world this season where Joel Embiid is back to himself without some sort of operation. So, guys, was his debut as bad as everyone's saying, or is this just usual rust?
Well, you want to go, Teja?
Sure. First, let me just say, I looked around at some of the comments around media and social media, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? Because people are writing about him not playing, calling BS when the team says he's not ready. And then when he comes out, he shows he's not ready. People are surprised. They're like, well, what's going on? I mean, what is this? I mean, now he should be shut down because the guy who said he wasn't ready to come back before he was ready is not actually ready on the court. He's showing you that he's not in shape. His knee, maybe he's not up there. I think the only thing the Sixers and Joel are guilty of at this point, what people should complain about, is the honesty factor. And we've talked about this on shows over the last few weeks. There's obviously more to all this than what is being talked about. That's the one thing I and I think a lot of fans and media are perplexed about, and that's what they're not voicing as much, but that's what's coming out in their complaints. Now, it's all the secrecy. Then if they came out and said from the beginning, look, he came back after that surgery, he played in the playoffs, he wasn't right while he was trying to heal, he played in the Olympics, maybe a setback there, probably a setback there. and he just hasn't had enough time to heal up. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but it would give us more to just kind of sink our teeth into rather than like, no, Olympics had nothing to do with it. It's fine. No setbacks. So there's clearly something, right? He's not totally himself. And I think to me, he looks like the thinnest he's been in a while. So I think he knows he doesn't want the extra weight on the knees, which is smart as he ages in general. I don't think, and I've seen him rusty a lot, and I've seen him coming back from a lot of injuries. I've seen him be out of shape. I haven't seen him call himself out of games and like huffing and puffing the way he was very often. So he knows, and that's part of it too, right? Like with that kind of exhaustion, I wouldn't automatically say it's a knee injury. I would also say he's got weak legs, probably, period. I mean, he's tired, and with that comes your legs are just run down and exhausted. They're not ready for that kind of up and down the floor movement. And with that comes slow reaction. It comes not wanting to take the extra steps. It comes from not wanting to running. It all goes into that. But he's never going to get in basketball shape if we hit the pause button every time he doesn't look like he's in basketball shape. Because then he'll never get back. Like you said, Eric, weeks ago, the only way you're going to get in basketball shape is by playing basketball, not by not playing it. So I think he's supposed to look this way to a certain degree after not playing full-speed basketball for a long time. He didn't look right in the Olympics, except for the modern-day dream team around him kind of covered up some of his efficiencies, right? Like, that's why we didn't see the full effect of how bad he looked at the time, because he had, these guys around him to soak it up. I'm not panicking yet, but if he looks this way in a month from now, my finger's definitely on the button.
Well, he went out in February last season, correct?
Yeah.
So that's 3 months from being a year.
Yeah.
So he's 3 months from being a year. He played in one round in the playoffs. He played, 5 or 6 games, 7 games in the Olympics. And he played 1 game this season. He doesn't look any different than he looked in the playoffs. I don't know how you can not have concern about that. I don't think that's all conditioning. It's been 3 months since he played a basketball game. He didn't play in the preseason. He played 1 game. That's not all conditioning. With conditioning, you can still react and go hard and do some of the things you couldn't do. You just can't do them for a certain amount of time like you used to. You would, if it was just conditioning, he would still be Joel, but he would tap out earlier.
That's a good point.
So he's not Joel he's not even able to do some of the things that he was doing before. He's not pump faking, driving, not dunking. He's not going to the hole and dunking them. He's not doing any of that.
Hardly even mid-range.
He hasn't done it at all. So he's not driving. I mean, he's not coming up on pick and rolls. He's not blocking shots. So, yeah, some of that is conditioning, but that's not all conditioning. Because like I said, if it was just conditioning, you could still do it. You just had to take more breaks.
You'd also see a glimpse of old Joel too,
yes.
If it was conditioning. There's no glimpse at all.
So that's what leads me to think that I Bleav this injury could be more severe than they're leading us to think. A guy that had a career-ending injury and had injuries before then, had surgeries. My first major surgery didn't end my career, but it changed my career. There were things that I couldn't do as well when I had those 2 ankle surgeries. I could still play in the NBA, but I could dunk easily and do all that stuff and was faster. but it was harder for me to dunk and do all that stuff after I had my surgery. So that's why I said they're career changing. You may find that your game has to change. You may find that your minutes have to decrease or your style may have to change. So that's what I mean by career changing. This could be a career changing injury for Joel. But a guy with his talent and his size, he could still be just as effective. You've seen guys like, I mean, I'll even say MJ, even though MJ's wasn't a injury, it was just he got older. You didn't see him as he got older, drive to the basket as much. He was more of a mid-range shooter, but still very much effective. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be career changing. I don't want to say it's career ending, and I hope it isn't. But I do believe that this is an injury more than conditioning. So that being said, I think they need to take him out? I would say no right now after one game. But if we're talking about this a month or two from now, I don't know how it helps him to keep playing.
But he looked better in the New York series, which was closer to his surgery than he did in the Olympics and now. That's the weird thing.
Well, I mean, he also he was also closer to February, which means so he was closer to going through a season. He was more in the basketball season, whereas now you had 3 or 4 months off of not playing or no one not being around basketball, play, and then you have the same thing. You play and you don't do anything. So some of that, he still was in the mode of playing basketball. And it was the playoffs where he wasn't really the same. Like, I don't think that he looked as much. I don't think he looked so much better in the playoffs than he did in this one game right here. But the difference is we had our full roster. He was in better shape then. So I would say the difference between the playoffs and this first game would be conditioning, not the injury, in my opinion.
Wasn't he just off for like 2 months after surgery?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the 2 months, whatever he's off from, you talking about from February to April, your conditioning is different than 3 to 4 months and you haven't played any basketball. So he played basketball, so his time from not playing basketball was shorter. So we're looking at from when he came back and played. But remember, he played some games before the playoffs, didn't he?
Played in one. No, he didn't. He played in a handful. He played 1, 2, 3.
That's what I'm saying. So he played in some games. So that break in between wasn't near as long. And that's not counting, as they say, getting ready for it.
True,
as they call it, the ramp up. That's not even counting the ramp up period that he had. So it wasn't, the gap of not playing basketball wasn't near as big as it was in between the Olympics and the season.
The New York series, sure, but even the regular season, right when he came back, still looks, compared to the other day, it looks great. I'll take those stats: 30, 39, and 5, and a block and a half, and a steal and a half. I mean, compared to how he looked the other day, and like the amount of threes too, comparatively to the rest of his. I mean, 3 of his 14 shots in one game was 3. 6 of his 25 shots for 3. 2 of his 13. 9 of his 22. That's a lot. 7 of his 23. That's a third. So he was just doing more. Again, that's why I said I'm not going to panic for like another month of this. After a month.
I mean, that's why I'm saying I think the difference between then and now is conditioning. I think that's the biggest difference is conditioning. But the fear of the injury and how he looks and doesn't look the same pre-February is still there. That still looks the same from the playoffs and end of the season playoffs to the Olympics and now. That part of it to me still looks the same. The conditioning is just better right now. I don't think he was in great shape in the Olympics either.
No, he wasn't. But let's just say New York Knicks series version of Joel is what he is after he gets a month of playing under his belt, right? Let's just say that's what he is, which is, I'll take it. But if you remember, a lot of people were saying we should shut him down then too, because he wasn't looking right. Yeah. So if our goal is postseason only, and we don't really care about the regular season, then even if he is New York Knicks version of Joel, shouldn't we think about still shutting him down for like 3 months until the playoffs start?
But that's the tough thing with Joel, is that we don't know what shutting him down will do. We don't know if shutting him down will have him better when he comes back, or will he be exactly the same or worse? That's the unknown about him. Because he's been shut down before and came back. And some guys you can shut down and then all of a sudden you're like, man, he's a monster when he come back. We don't know that.
Yeah.
He might be like, that's what I said. It might be his career ending, career changing. It could just be career changing. But I think that we'll give some answers, or be able to answer that question better as these games that are coming along now start happening. That'll kind of give us some more answers. It'll let us kind of evaluate where he truly is, play some more games. And he hasn't played a road game. He hasn't been on the road. We'll know how that's going to look when he hasn't played, where he has to travel, come back. And so just kind of let the schedule play itself out, and we'll see.
I mean, look, New York Knicks, Embiid was 33, 11, 6, and 1.5, 1.2. So if that's what we're getting, and he can scale back his minutes.
How many minutes did he play when he did that?
Playing a lot. He's playing.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but that's what I'm saying also. With the roster we have.
So what I'm saying is, I think a lot of that, the difference in what you're saying is how he looked then versus how he looked now. I believe the biggest difference is conditioning. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the injury looks any different.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a better team now than then. So he should be able to comfortably scale some of that back. And that's what I was saying all offseason. Like, he doesn't need to be doing all that stuff anymore. Like, he can scale back, and we can be just as effective and good, and he's going to probably have to if we want to, like, have him all year and 5 more years. Scary thought.
Positive sign that he said that the whole back-to-back thing was a troll, so that's a positive sign. So that means he'll be playing at some back-to-backs, and based on our record right now, he might have to play a little bit more than just some back-to-backs.
Is he saying that because he means it, or is he saying that because he's gotten a lot of stuff in the media from Barclays and the Shaqs of the world about that?
Could be both ways. I think the backlash could have changed that tone, but we
just
don't
kidding.
Only they know. Only he know. Only they know.
Well, we'll know soon because we got a lot of back-to-backs.
But we'll find out, though.
Yeah.
Time will tell. All right, so we got game picks now. So Paul George and Embiid will be playing tonight in Orlando. We got a 3-game road trip coming up here. So 76ers last night were a 1-point underdog at Orlando, but now they are a 2.5-point underdog. So that's interesting that it's jumped up 1.5 points. They're playing without Paolo in this game. So they have a man down as well. But who do you guys have in this game? 2.5-point underdog at Orlando.
I know last season we had some really good success against Orlando.
I thought they played us pretty tough.
And I know Joel didn't play. We kind of went down there and won, right? Last year.
Didn't they beat us really good one game? I need to check that out right now.
And Joel didn't play. And Maxey, we went down there and beat them one time. I think the first time we went.
Yeah, no, 3 straight games. Yeah, we won in December by 20. We won in January by 15, and then we won in April by 12. So we handled them pretty good last year.
That's what I thought. I thought we had really good success against them, and Paulo was playing. So I think we kind of can get them. I think we'll go down there and win this one. especially with their leading scorer out and best player out. They still haven't addressed their size, right? I mean, Wendell's still their center, I Bleav. Yeah, we're going to beat them, man. We're going to beat them, and which we cover because are we favored or they're favored?
We're a 2.5-point underdog.
Yeah, we'll win that. We'll win that and cover.
Wendell's out right now.
Is
is their starting center right now.
Who?
Tate? How do you pronounce his name?
Batazde?
I
Yeah.
don't know what that is.
And then Mo Wagner's the backup.
If Embiid's got problems against those guys, then when we have issues, we can press that panic button.
Yeah, they're on a 4-game win streak, though.
I say we win it.
They're on a 4-game win streak. 3 all at home. Okay, a 4-game win streak. And after the Sixer game, they're about to go on the road for 3 straight. West Coast. Yeah. They're doing the Sixer West Coast trip. Phoenix, LA. Same exact thing. It's kind of funny. But yeah, they beat the Pacers by 4. They beat the Hornets bad. They beat the Wizards bad. They beat the Pelicans bad. So spread's weird. +1 to +2.5. I think we bounce back. I think we bounce back and win from how we've been looking lately. And I think Joel plays a solid game. I don't think he has a Joel type game. I think it's more of like a 23, 10 and 6 type game. I think George looks good, and McCain's a little stopgap until we get Maxey back. So, yeah, I think we win it.
All right, then the last game we have before we meet again on Tuesday, on Monday night, the Sixers will go to Miami to play the Miami Heat. I'm assuming Embiid and Paul George will play since there's no back-to-back. But who do you guys have in that one?
We'll lose to Miami. I'll say we won't get that one. We'll lose to Miami.
Their team has looked pretty rough too. So they lost their last. They're 1-4 in their last 5.
Yeah, their record's better than ours.
Yeah, well, most teams are. They had that heartbreaker against the Pistons where Spo kind of lost it there with that timeout moment. You say that's a back-to-back? That's a front-end back-to-back?
No, it's not back-to-back, is it?
It's not back-to-back.
Oh, I thought you said they wouldn't be out. Okay, so you think they're gonna play because it's not a back-to-back? Is what you said?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. I think Butler's gonna be questionable for that one, right? Because he's been out, so that plays a factor too. I think we win. I think we get 2 straight.
Good. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, Rozier, Hero, Highsmith, Love, and Adebayo. Not exactly a team that we should be fearing. I mean, we're our normal team minus Maxey, and we have maybe the Rookie of the Year at guard. So some of these games that we're contemplating, I think it's because of how poorly we play without a lot of these guys. But, man, we get 70% of what Joel is, we should be winning these games, especially a team without their arguably best player in Miami and definite best player in Paolo for Orlando. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to my old common sense, win the games we should win mentality here.
There you go. So Teja's got us on a 2-game win streak going into our next show next Tuesday. All right, guys. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed our episode. We will see you guys next Tuesday to talk about these hopefully 2-game win streak by the next time we see you. But
Let's go, baby.
All right. Take it easy.
Take it easy, guys.
Later on, guys.